Hi everybody. I wish you could have seen Michael's face when he was reading all of your questions that you left on my last video. He was absolutely enthralled with everything. He thought it was hysterical. And yes, he answered most of the questions, but first he told me that I had to show the first comment. No, this was the second one. The second comment that he put on the notes for my second day of training with him. And here they are. See, here he says, great workout. Great workout. You're closer to your goal each workout. He wanted me to make sure that I told you this time that he has been complimenting me and saying positive things. It's just that, well, when I get pushed into a corner, you know, and get forced to do stuff that I really don't want to do, somebody has to bear the brunt of that. It certainly isn't my fault, so it has to be Michael. Anyway, I told him I'd show you that. And then he did the same thing on this third one. See? Keep up with the great attitude and that I rock. He asked me to show you that. Then he went on and he said, after I told him that I told you in my last video that he says that the trainer is not your friend. He said that I didn't go on to tell you what the trainer does. So he wrote on yesterday's records, decrease whining, and then he says, trainers are not your friends. They're not supposed to be your friends. He says, but a trainer will enhance your life and increase your life expectancy. He says that's better than being your friend. So the questions, he enjoyed Ran BLV's comment about him putting smart-ass comments on my training pages. And he said, Ran says, does he remember you are the customer? And Michael said, you might be the customer, but you've come to me to get your body reshaped, and you have to do what I say. He says we are more Tracy and Hepburn too, Ran, rather than Bacall and Bogart. And Yo-Yo Max 12, she left 6 questions, and the first one was, did he pull wings off butterflies as a child? He says yes. Did someone kick sand in his face when he was at the beach? He says, no, I was the kicker, and he put his answers on all these pages. Are you a misogynist? He says, no, I'm a woman lover. What else? Where's another good one? Just wait a second. Suiksana's question, and that's Susanna. She asks, if he ever gets sick of your complaining, will he bring his tight little gluteus maximus to North Carolina to work with someone who will totally appreciate him and make him raw egg and wheatgrass tofu shakes? Because he won't get that from me. And Michael's answer, Susanna, was, if the price is right, he'd be more than happy to take his tight little gluteus maximus to North Carolina. He enjoyed Jeep Girls 2 comment about the milk. He thought that was funny and a bit peculiar. Wait, let me find another one. Jinxie228 asked, if you don't have access to a gym, what is the best way to get strength training at home? He said, well, first of all, you have to move. You have to make sure that you move every day. And he said, just even 2-pound, 3-pound, and 5-pound weights are great to just move with your arms and do arm strengthening exercises. And he said, if you can work on one of those horrible balls, they are good too for stability training. He wrote it all down. Trust me. And then, well, whenever I see Roberta's channel name, I always say to myself, it's Okataz. But I think it's Ohio, I think, OH, Texas, and Arizona. Okataz. She asked, Ask him why you're only whining and not crying. If he was any damn good, there would be tears. And here's his response to you, Roberta. He says, "Oh, Roberta, don't fret. The tears are coming. Make no mistake. Thanks very much, Roberta." Bug Lady 58 asks, "Michael, were you bullied as a child?" He says, "No, I was the bully." Just goes to show. And one last question from Silver Scream Girl. It is, what is one exercise we should do every day besides walking, since one would assume that is something that we do every day for strengthening our bodies? He says push-ups and ab crunches. And he says if you're new to push-ups, then do them from a countertop so that you're just pushing off like that. And the crunches, the ab crunches, he says, are really good for toning your core body. And he reinforced that the light weights, any kind of light weights that you can use for your arms, will help. And that's all I have to say about all of that. I think I'm done complaining about Michael for a while. That's it, that's all.